of respect bans coming through so far.
The Tristana is still up and available, and I wouldn't be surprised if top esports do secure that for themselves, either as a response or flex it towards the bottom side, with Milio still up and available as well. But Rookie, one of our best Syndra players in the entire world as well, so that's something that he could consider that can just outrange the Nico. We saw this Azir pick out of him, I believe, in the series up against OMG as well. And they honestly have some of the best front-to-back team fighting, where they are putting all their eyes on the carries, and they do play these team fights very structured. So I'm really excited to see what top esports have for us, which is the Jason Maokai, of course.
Yeah, and I will say, Rookie's Jace is an absolute treat to watch. This is like vintage Korean Jace, you know, like the stuff that they used to talk about in the Legends all those years ago. Excited to see that one in the mid lane up against hard as Nico. The Rel going to be locked in here, you'd expect, which can be for Xiaohao, can be for Zorah. We'll have to see where AL want to send that one. We have seen some flexibility in the pick, and I like it this early in the draft because it does leave some options open for you post bans.
Yeah, we've only had 2 Rel games so far, Rel jungle games so far in the LPL. I believe it was played by both Shadow and Kanavi. And it was quite the interesting one. It was seen as a counterpick into the Sejuani jungle, which potentially, I mean, it's not going to be considered here because Maokai has already been locked in as they take the Jax up against Renekton matchup for that top lane. And ZDZ locking in the comfort, which we've seen him perform day in, day after again. But up against Jax, I feel like it's a very vulnerable matchup. Once you die that one time, it just snowballs out of control, especially when Tian is a player that does gravitate himself towards that top side in the early game as well.
Yeah, Tian more than happy to move up and help Wayward get himself a lead, especially because Renekton is kind of similar on the other side. Like, you get an early kill on Renekton, you take a gold lead into a Herald fight, like, you could just take over the game. We've seen it plenty of times in the LPL where Renekton just dominates the early game, finds a carry, just one-shots an AD carry, you know. So I wouldn't be too surprised to see that. There's Alistair going to be banned off the board as well as Aphelios here. I'm curious where JackeyLove is going to go with this one. The Draven's already taken off the board. Kaiser's gone. Aphelios is gone. I mean, Xayah Rakan's still currently open.
Yeah, Xayah Rakan is going to be the next up-and-coming bottom lane, especially considered by top esports. But we still have things like the Tristana that can provide a bit of escapability considering how much CC AL have. The Diana's been taken away from Xiaohao. I'm not too sure on what that means because I don't think Diana would work that well considering I mean, they do have the Venn diagram composition if they do give over the Diana, so who knows?
I mean, like, Xiaohao has played the Diana a couple of times, but it didn't look good.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's 0% win rate so far on the Diana. Like, I feel like you could probably play around that, but here we go. Varus, open and available. It'll be locked in for JackeyLove.
Look, I was looking at JackeyLove's win rate on his top 3 champions. They're all at 70%. The Samira does come out for tonight, but it isn't through JackeyLove. It's through zhiqiuyi, and he wants to be locking down JackeyLove as fast as possible in this early game and shutting him out from reaching that 3-game item spike.
zhiqiuyi bringing out the Samira. I'm going to do my utmost to try and pronounce his name correctly, but I'm going to be honest, that is the hardest name I've ever had to pronounce in LPL. Diego going to come through as well, so the Rel will be down in the bottom side. But the second we saw the Samira, let's be honest, we knew it. And the fact that they didn't ban Rakan tells me that top esports, they knew that it was going to be a Rel down in the bottom side here. Looking for Mark to go for one of his classic picks when it came into the LPL. He pretty much was a Nautilus Leona bot, as pretty much everyone was back in 2020. And we will expect to see that coming through once again.
I'm honestly surprised that Mark didn't go for the Leona approach because you have to consider the fact that Samira is seen as a counter into the Varus because you're able to block that Varus ultimate with your windshield, of course, and you can also block some of those hooks from Mark. But for the last pick, it is going to be the Nautilus lock-in as AL, a very aggressive team composition for this game 1. It's going to be about how the Samira is going to pop up in these team fights, but I'm getting a little bit worried because if you look at top esports composition, they can break apart this Samira's combo so easily. So AL, they need to take their chances very carefully and see through picks in that early game.
We'll see if they can find those picks. I'm excited for this comp, though. I feel like early strength across the board here for anyone's legend. That's what we talked about before. Top esports still 100% win rate when they're ahead at the 15-minute mark. So AL They've got to try and stop that snowball before it begins. They've got the tools with a Renekton and Nico to set up for that Viego. Not to mention a Rel Samira. I mean, that is a terrifying lane to play up against. We'll see if Top Esports are ready for that power. Certainly favorites coming into today. And again, going towards playoffs, we want to see a strong performance. We want to see domination here from Top Esports. They've got that Jace Varus, which can be a devastating combo when it comes to controlling Drakes as well.
Riding up the momentum is going to be key for Top Esports coming into this series up against AL, bouncing off, of course, a series win from Ultra Prime and OMG. It's going to be a form check as we have a relatively standard composition locked in for this game one, but it's going to be how they shut down zhiqiuyi as this bottom lane continues.
Oh, that was a one-sided Gyro. It was like one person that shouted for AL the first time there. I'm not sure the team was ready for the Gyros to come up through. Here we go.
I've always wondered, when it comes to these LPL chants, is there a designated chanter that does the initial like AL, and then the fans, of course, do the Gyro as a like? Is there a dedicated initiator for that?
I know that it is a fan that does it. Like, it's not an official LPL rep that does starts the Gyros. I don't know how they decide who does it, because you never seem to have people contesting it. So I don't know if it's predetermined or what, but yeah, we'll have to ask. We'll have to get some info from if our producers are listening. Calling producer over. Can we? How do the Gyros work? Does anyone know? Let us know. Let's talk win conditions though. Here we said early game aggression for anyone's legend. Top Esports on the other side, not too shabby on the early aggression. You can see Halo Blades there for this Varus, which, I mean, Varus known for lane domination already. And Top Esports they're the third team in the league for Dragon percentage. This is a team that loves to play around the Dragon. With a Jace in mid and with a Varus in bot, you've got to believe they're going to be trying to stack him early.
Yeah, my eyes are going to be fixated on the flashes in the early game, of course, but you also have to kind of skim over AL's composition that they're extremely short-ranged compared to Top Esports. It's very clear that Top Esports, they want to be waiting for those 2-item spikes. Hook lands, I don't think it's going to result into too much. Zorah needs to get out of here, though. He's getting so low. Well,
yeah, Ignite was used there by Mark. As Wayward tries to get stunned down as well. Yeah, Ignite going to be used, but pretty much just to get that damage down. Level 2 hit for Zorah, but not for zhiqiuyi. So, a one-sided trade. Top Esports will be able to slowly but surely stack and then crash this wave.
Because both junglers started their topside jungle, we will get a 3v3 very soon, or at least Tian and Xiaohao will be meeting in that river. But like you said, Cleanse has been burnt from the Samira, so it is going to potentially be a bottom gank very early on in this game. Top lane.
Oh, ZDZ's feeling it. He's still got flash available. He's not going to go for that. And Wayward actually just recalls in front of him. ZDZ has to go for the wave, yeah.
The wave is in a perfect spot. It's frozen in the top side where Wayward, he's forced to TP here. But we do have Xiaohao spotted on a ward, so Top Esports take note of this and they are going to back out. But I feel like with all these hooks hitting from Mark, we might have Mark with a K starting in this game one. They're looking in good form.
Yeah, looking good so far. Was that subtle Cadral flame there? Did I pick up on some subtle flame under the covers there?
You wouldn't need to mention that one.
But yeah, you can see, I mean, to be honest, not exactly a monumental CS lead off the back of it. I feel like he should have gone for the solo kill. He should have tried for it at the very least. Like, had flash available, so he could have followed Wayward, but decided he couldn't go for it. As Xiaohao tries to hover in the bottom side, but won't find anything here.
The problem is Xiaohao, because he was routing towards that bottom side, they weren't too sure if Tian was around that top lane, and just in case he was going to flash over the wall, he might have been met with 2 people from the side of Top Esports. We have another 1v1. The Conquerors are stacked up.
Certainly are. Wayward dips on out, though. Himself to safety. I say that. Xiaohao's moving over, but looks like Wayward will fully dip here, get himself back up to the top side. Tian, it's in the lane as well. ZDZ, is he going to go for the bait here? Wayward trying to look juicy. Tian's in the brush. ZDZ knows something's up, though. He knows what's going on here. He's not going to fall for it.
Xiaohao was very lucky and managed to get a ward onto the bottom side of Tian's camp, so they don't see the Maokai anywhere near the bottom side, so it's kind of great discipline coming out of ZDZ and playing extremely safe here, although Xiaohao is also hovering his lane for the time being, but the game so far so good. I feel like the first dragon is going to be where the first huge 5v5 is going to occur, but for the side of top esports, they need to wait for item spikes, especially in Rookie and JackeyLove, compared to something like the Nico and Samir that do have great inbuilt damage in the first 15 minutes.
Good start to this top lane though. ZDZ gets himself a plate, will get himself that recall off as well. Should be able to get back to lane before missing out on any minions. So good start versus Wayward. Feel like winning out the mind games, though, not falling for the gank. And now you see big crash towards this bottom lane. JackeyLove just returning with a serrated Dirk here, but we'll take a second to clear this wave. And, you know, we were talking about Jace in the mid lane, Varus in the bottom lane should be able to go for a Drakes, but actually, it's AL off the back of resets will find priority.
That's a lethality Varus! In 2023, that is a rare occurrence coming out of JackeyLove. AL's going to secure this first dragon with the priority in the bottom side. So that's going to be great, as we did just say that AL, they do have the better team fight for the first 10 minutes. Mark has the flash.
Yeah, a close one for Mark, but he's going to look for the engage once again here. Zorah the target, Pop Blossom across team. It's only on to Mark, but he's down now. And Rookie being chased out. Zhiqiuyi is stacked up and he's taking him to pieces. This top esports just get wrecked.
Come on, top esports, you can't do us like this when we were just praising you for 10 minutes straight, but that's 2 kills into zhiqiuyi's pockets, and that's exactly who you want to be getting ahead in this early game. At AL, they come out on top with also a dragon.
Oh no,
oh, Jackie.
He's been caught out as well. The Q should be able to land, and there we go. Even a flash just to guarantee it. That's 3 kills for zhiqiuyi. He's got a triple kill on Samira at 7 minutes into the game. This is doomed for top, surely.
It's an absolute disaster, and it's after AL secure that first Ocean Soul as well. Mark even has to burn the flash, but with everyone being so separated from the side of top esports, Harder just has to go in with the Pop Blossom and it secures. I mean, Mark does fall down as the first person, but we talked about how Rookie, he needs a serrated Dirk. There's not much damage coming out of the crew of top esports, and this is the result. I mean, even JackeyLove had to burn double summoners because of a greedy freezing wave attempt.
Yep, trying to step up to the wave, got punished for it, and now basically even in CS, while zhiqiuyi is going to be able to sweep up all of these minions, and down 3 kills. You can see serrated Dirk and a BF sword as well as boots there. zhiqiuyi, he's in a phenomenal position in this game. And you have to wonder, what is the response here for top esports? Because again, this is a team that snowballs for their wins. This is a team that when they're ahead of 15, 100% win rate. Can they get ahead at 15 though, when they're already almost 3,000 go down?
Yeah, it's a terrible feeling to be the side of top esports in this game 1, but perhaps in this upcoming Rift Herald, unless AL rotate their bottom lane duo towards this fight, which the most fed member is through zhiqiuyi, having the BF sword and the serrated Dirk, they shouldn't have that much of a clear advantage when it comes to the pure 3v3. We do see AL starting up the Rift Herald, which is going to get spotted on a ward, but from how terribly the first Dragon Skirmish went, I'm assuming top esports, they're waiting for item spikes, they're waiting for Tian to have this level 6 and then work towards that Demonic Embrace, because that's when they finally have the enough damage to kind of deal with AL.
See, if they're going to be able to do it, I'm curious how objectives are going to be played out, because like JackeyLove playing Lethality Varus is like visceral flashbacks to 2020 for me. Hook, I don't know why Mark is looking for fights in the bottom side. Surely they wouldn't win that.
Maybe it's a big brain play. That's the windshield gone from zhiqiuyi for like a 20-second time frame. JackeyLove's gonna look, he's gonna use the Chains of Corruption and get the Samira down to low HP and then make Tian rotate. But I think that's already past the time frame, so scrap that idea. We do have the jungle and support linking up towards his bottom side, potentially seeing Xiaohao here.
Harder charging on forwards here. Just training a little bit with Rookie. As the root's going to come through. They're searching for Xiaohao, but that ain't happening. Blast going out to safety. Herald's still in pocket, remember, for Xiaohao. as he looks towards this bottom side. He wants to just fully stack up this Samira, and I don't blame him.
We talked about how this Samira full game 1 is the win condition for AL, and they're just committing to this. I don't know if it was from pure luck or Top Esports. They overforced in that first initial team fight, but this is going swimmingly for the side of AL. But the big problem is if you do kind of struggle closing out the game past the 25-minute mark, Top Esports composition, they do slowly come out online.
They certainly do. Here we go, Herald.
Tian's
Slammed down, JackeyLove and Mark. In a 2v3 underneath the tower, pulled in and churned down into the blender. JackeyLove does get one though, and actually, Mark surviving for the time being as well, trying to keep himself alive with this shield. zhiqiuyi low on HP, and Mark is dodging everything. Will be finished off in the end. My goodness, that was way closer than AL would have liked though.
Still is a 2-for-1 trade with the support of AL falling as JackeyLove misses out on another 2 waves in this bottom lane. And although Varus and Jace is a very popular duo in the current meta right now, you just don't have that survivability once you don't have that flash ability available.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I do want to go back to talking about the compositions here a little bit as well, though, because I remember Top Esports used to play this style of composition with the Jace in the mid lane, with a Lethality Varus in bot lane, and then have like Carsa on a Nidalee back in 2020. They would play full poke around objectives and would basically just refuse to fight. We'll see if they can exact that style later on. Good
Look,
start
he can
to the play.
refuse to fight, but AL, they want to fight because they spotted Tian on a pink ward that was placed by Harder in the mid lane, so they know Maokai is nowhere near this bottom side dive as Xiaohao picks up this last kill and 2 plates into zhiqiuyi's pockets as well. I mean, this Samira is kind of snowballing out of control. The Triforce has already been picked up for this Viego, and AL's composition, it's very simple. You go for those AoE huge wombo combos coming out of Harder and Zorah, and Xiaohao looks for those resets. It is just reset city for zhiqiuyi and Xiaohao to work off, but it is a very snowbally composition. Once you give over 1 or 2 chances over to Top Esports, it is going to get a little bit difficult to close out the game.
Yeah, it certainly will be. I've got to say, zhiqiuyi is so fed at this point. You can see his inventory. He's got 3 different tier 2 items. The way that modern AD carry builds go, though, the fact that he gets a BF Sword, a Zeal, and a Serrated Dirk, like, my brain still thinks back to that old build path, you know, and I'm like, you know, pick your item, man, pick your item. I know that the Zeal and the BF Sword combined now, but still looks funny. It's the Serrated Dirk there for the early power for that Samira. And I feel like post-reset now, like, I mean, how did Top Esports ever fight for these Drake? We talked about this comp from Top being a Drake-related comp. I'm going to hold that thought because Zorah's been caught here. The CC chain is pretty good, but JackeyLove just died on. The knockups are there, though, and actually it's a shutdown. JackeyLove still alive, taken down by Xiaohao, who gets himself a reset, gets a second one as well. Tian flashes under the tower and will survive for now.
You see the problem with Samira into this composition, so vulnerable to CC, and trying to get off your S rank is incredibly difficult, but at the very end, Xiaohao with the Triforce in hand on this Viego still gonna come out on top with a 2-for-1 trade, and that is 6 deaths in the bottom lane of Top Esports in the first 13 minutes. I mean, that is just not what you want to be seeing for the side of Top Esports, but the whole fight starts with every single ability committed to Zorah, but luckily the Bramble Smash coming out of Tian here does stop the S rank, but Viego in this game 1 is just taking control and using the final arrow to get Mark as well. Rookie was rotating, but he just wasn't fast enough.
And I feel like that was all about Xiaohao, right? The fact that he read that play, Tian in the brush, and that play is a immaculate play from Top Esports if Xiaohao doesn't arrive. But the hero arrives, Xiaohao with his cape on his shoulders, flies into the bottom side and cleans it all up. And it means that, you know, yes, JackeyLove did get a big shutdown there, so you can see Ghostblade finished off for him, but still, you know, half an item behind the enemy AD carry at this point. Still a massive lead for anyone's legend. And Xiaohao just completely reading what Top Esports are trying to do to answer.
Magical numbers, 2 for Top Esports. They need 2 item spikes looking at Rookie and both Tian to really show up in those team fights. The Mana Mune is a huge spike for Rookie, but the early game is kind of spiraling out of control. We have Zorah on the top side.
Wayward, I'm surprised didn't get aggressed harder there, to be honest. Speaking of harder, he's actually in the bottom side. But you could see on the minimap a lot of Top Esports players moving up towards that top side as the play was going off. And I love this. Mark and Rookie, Tian moving over as well. They're looking for a pick. They want to try and find someone rotating through the jungle, but they won't find anyone for now.
Zorah doesn't have the flash available though, so he is in a bit of a sticky situation if they decide to take it. The TP from Wayward, it's going to be a 5v5 for this.
Top Esports, full sending it here. The hook from Mark is good. Wayward's there with a counter-strike as well. Pop Blossom defensively, but first kill is taken. The Samir is down. How the hell have they pulled this off? Top Esports, 5,000 gold down and still winning team fights. The shutdown goes into Rookie's pockets. What have I just witnessed?
You know what, Top Esports? Take the cake. I have no idea how that went so well for the side of Top Esports. But of course, ZDZ, he was desperately looking for a flank angle from that top side, and he wasn't in this fight. So it was a 4v5 to begin with. But given in that choke, JackeyLove ended up doing so much damage to everyone. And of course, Tian having this demonic as well. With that bush being in the whole mix of everything, they secure themselves the first Rift Herald. Yep.
Absolutely mental. ZDZ on the flank. I mean, got spotted there.
Yeah, over a pink ward as well, where we have the Pop Blossom going onto the 2 front line of Top Esports. But look at the Samir. It is so hard to get off your S rank up against the whole team of Top Esports when everyone has pretty much inbuilt CC. If you don't utilize that windmill correctly, you kind of have to wait out all the cooldowns and all the abilities to finally go in. But when is going to be the real case? I mean, the dragon is going to be spawning in 40 seconds. Manamune has been picked up by JackeyLove, but a huge gold shift for Top Esports to come back.
Yeah, still behind in goal, by the way. They just want to fight at 16 minutes, almost an ace there. They're still 3,000 gold behind. That's just a lot about the state of the game. As Wayward, ZDZ sparring as ever. Xiaohao, so far so good from him. The Triforce there. Need to see him have some big team fights as Tian could be in trouble here. The full commitment onto the jungler. Can they finish the fight? Pop Blossom is good, and the cleanups are here. ZDZ diving underneath the tower is harder tanking up, but that's actually just a clone, and that will secure the 3rd Drake.
It kind of just felt like AL, they got an individual pick onto Tian who didn't have the flash available. It was 2 seconds off, which is very unfortunate. But once again, AL, they need those resets. And at the very end, Wayward and Mark also ends up following. And they have an Inferno Soul Point going over towards AL. I mean, we get to see the replay. Tian, he drops the Rift Herald, but he overextends. Even Xiaohao feeling very confident going up for some extra bit of damage onto this Malka. But he is so incredibly squishy. As AL, they just go target them one by one, while you have to work off the poke from JackeyLove or Rookie if you want to see these fights going your way.
Yeah, this is the thing. Like, despite that previous fight working out somehow for Top Esports, like, Top Esports composition doesn't actually want big all-ins. They want a slow, steady fight where they can poke out before it all kicks off. I mean, JackeyLove still hasn't even finished stacking his Muramana. This lethality virus not hitting that hard just yet. And the same for Rookie. On the Jace, he's still only on the 1 lethality item. So the side of Top Esports, they don't actually want Tian caught out like that. They never actually want to fully commit to the fight.
Yeah, and I just feel like it was a bit of an unfortunate timing for Tian not having that Imperial Mandate either. He just picked that one up, but this fight he will have the flash available. However, AL, I mean, they're now dragon stacking to an extent where they're most likely looking at a soul point around that 23-minute mark. And Top Esports, I mean, yes, we said how the 2-item spike is going to be ideal for you guys. However, this early game has been so accelerated where Jax isn't going to provide as much compared to something like the Renekton.
That's the thing. We're talking about having a lead at 15. What happens when you're, what, 4,000 go down at 18? And they've got 3 Drakes as well. That's a very different conversation to who's ahead at 15. Yeah, maybe the Muramana will be online for Rookie by the fourth Drake. I can't count, but I don't think it'll be online for JackeyLove at that point. So you'll still be a little way away from where Top Esports want to be before fighting. AL sitting pretty, and again, it's off of the back of early presence. Like, ZDZ has had complete control of the top side of the map. You can see him sparring with Wayward now, who Wayward finally starting to get some items online. Will do a bit better in that 1v1, but ZDZ had complete control of that. And then Xiaohao just dominating the bottom side of the map.
Yeah, and the scary thing is AL now have this soul point kind of pressuring top esports to force that 5v5, but AL realistically can just look to turn, and then that's Baron. I mean, if you lose too many members, that is quite literally Baron, unless Rookie and JackeyLove stays alive and they look for the poke that can potentially outrange AL and then have them way too low to commit to it. But that is such a scary thought for top esports to be in because they have no towers whatsoever, so no priority to really get that ward down towards the bottom side. But we haven't seen too much out of Mark and Tian this game one, and they really should start lining up towards Wayward and get this Jax ahead. Oh, TP from Harder.
Harder is behind them right here. He has been spotted as the route will go wide, just a tiny bit of poke out of that TP. The one problem you've got as well for top esports is it's really hard to face check. Like, you're great at playing neutral objectives if you can get into the river, but it's very difficult for this composition to actually make its way in towards a river.
Honestly, I feel like this conversation could go either way because AL, they don't have a true front line. ZDZ is quite literally the only bruiser that AL can rely on. And you saw how the team fight went when the Renekton wasn't in the conversation. It went terribly for AL where they nearly got aced. But top esports, I mean, they don't really have great follow-up CC. Yes, you have Tian and Mark to work off. JackeyLove, he needs to sit very far behind with the Chains of Corruption just in case someone accidentally dies. And zhiqiuyi with the Gale Force available as well just jumps onto your head from 2 screens away. So being in JackeyLove and Rookie's position, I mean, your positioning is going to be key, but Zorah, I mean, he has the flash available on this rel. That is going to be the most important summoner spell on the side of AL. As Harder, he is looking for that follow-up alongside Zorah.
Yeah, if the Pop Blossom lands on JackeyLove or Rookie, it's over. The fight's already over at that point.
It's Jova.
It absolutely is. And that's speaking as a Joe myself. I am somewhat of an expert on the topic. 45 seconds until this Drake comes up. Anyone's Legend in control of mid lane for the time being. They don't have massive amounts of vision, but top esports might try and threaten onto Baron instead, but against an Infernal Soul, is that a trade you're willing to make?
That is not a trade, especially when you don't really have fast, consistent DPS. It's not an on-hit Varus, it's a lethality Varus. You have to be looking through the poke. Rookie now has the Mana Mune completed. They have to fight this 5v5.
Now JackeyLove, like 50 stacks away. He's close, but he ain't finished stacking just yet. Blue buff is up. Will help Rookie get that CDR, but Tian caught again. That's huge damage right before Drake.
Look at the vision control that AL's been able to secure towards the bottom side as well. Top esports, they can't look to start the Baron up. I mean, you can't just give away this Infernal Soul for free.
They've got to try. If there's one thing Varus is good for, it's stealing Drakes, but the Drake is down to 2k already. It's just going to be a 50-50 at this point. They go in and they take it. Pop Blossom on everyone. And top esports are mincemeat. The Panda Warriors making it happen as they bring down top esports.
Huge Pop Blossom from Hard. I mean, we were talking about how this Nico, once she gets her hands onto the carries of top esports, they are not surviving this team fight. Now with 3 surviving members, they're going to walk towards the Baron. No jungle in hand either for top esports. They're just going to secure this.
Unless there's some kind of miracle from JackeyLove, this is going the way of anyone's Legend. 4,000 gold lead. Infernal Soul. In case Pop Blossom wasn't doing enough already. Ward comes out from Wayward. Oh, the Q is going to be on cooldown. No, JackeyLove's done it too early. Wayward goes in. Can they find the steal here? Oh, it's close, but it's not close enough. JackeyLove onto the back line. Harder's in trouble. The TP from Rookie. They're trying to make some heroics happen. And they might just have done it, but Rookie goes down and JackeyLove's alone. They get a couple of kills, but it's a triple for ZDZ.
JackeyLove really thought he was Gumayushi in that moment, but he didn't get the Q off. He charged it too early, even burning the TP from Rookie as well. It's just going from bad to worse. With this fight, the Samira secured that last dragon while Harder occupying the entirety of top esports with that single Pop Blossom. Although zhiqiuyi did get stopped with his S rank, Xiaohao honestly getting so much done on this Viego.
Phenomenal stuff from anyone's Legend. I will say, JackeyLove has been stealing Barons on lethality Varus since before Gumayushi was a pro. I don't think he's too worried about trying to be Guma at this point in his career. I feel like he's got his own reputation to uphold at this point. 6,000 gold lead, though, for anyone's legend. And I'm still a bit, like, gobsmacked that they're so far ahead. Look at the scores underneath the names. 4-10 versus 11-4. It's almost opposite standings between these two teams. But anyone's legend are absolutely taking Top Esports for a ride.
Yeah, you talked about how AL, I mean, if you want to be challenging these top teams, you have to find advantages in the early game. Wayward, you don't want to be there.
It's over the wall. Can he get out with his life? I don't think so. I mean, he can't even 1v1 Xiaohao at this point, as Xiaohao is monstrous, and Wayward is trying to find a way out, but Xiaohao has found him. No, he hasn't. He misses the stun. Oh, Counter-Strike. Oh, but there's a stopwatch in play, and that will end the potential heroism from Wayward. He's taken down. And in the meantime, Tian has been found again.
ZDZ quite literally 1v2'd the jungler and mid laner of Top Esports by himself with the GA in hand as well. Now he's just gonna recall with that Baron reset. AL, you need someone in the mid lane. JackeyLove, he doesn't have that flash available. Zorah can honestly just look towards his mid and instantly one-shot JackeyLove if he's not too careful.
Yeah, JackeyLove. The thing about the lethality virus as well is one of the things it brings to the table is that wave clear. As you can see, you know, ZDZ just shrekking him. They thought they'd got him. They were very wrong. But the wave clear doesn't do much against Baron minions. You can't clear these waves, and AL now taking 2 tier 2 towers. They can move down towards the bottom side of the map. I will say, Elder Dragon is up in 2.5 minutes. Please, AL. I am begging you. I am absolutely begging you, AL. Please don't 50-50 it.
You're telling me Top Esports can still come back to this game because we have 3 items coming online, especially with JackeyLove picking up that Sereldas as well. And Elder Dragon 2 minutes away. To be fair, zhiqiuyi was the one that picked up that final Infernal Soul Dragon.
Yeah.
So the smite didn't land. TP coming out of both the soul laners.
Wayward. Not the greatest ward of his life, but he'll hop onto a minion, get himself out to safety. There's AL. No Baron in pocket anymore, so the wave clear will be much stronger from Top Esports, but it should be enough for them to just walk on forwards. Xiaohao happy to tank the tower for a moment, as Rookie at least gets something on the opposite side of the map, but it is pittance comparatively, as every single tier 2 is taken. We're talking about these neutral objectives, but how do you even get into your own jungle now that all your tier 2s are gone?
I'm gonna be real, although Rookie traded a tower in the top side, which is great as you have bounty gold coming back into your pockets, but because AL traded for the bottom tier 2, they have complete control of this upcoming Elder Dragon, which is going to be one. It does seem like it is going to be a 50-50 Elder Dragon flip, but the kind of problem for Top Esports is how are you going to be landing these skill shots when you don't have any vision? I mean, maybe you can look for the steal with the amount of range you have. They do secure themselves a scuttle, but you also have to consider the fact that they also need flank wards for Wayward if they want to pull off a successful team fight.
Certainly do. We need some kind of miracle Counter-Strike. We need some kind of miracle everything, to be honest. We need Tian not to get caught before the fight as well, which does seem to be a bit of a theme across the course of this game. Stopwatches in the top 2 players here for the side of Top Esports. You can see one there for Harder as well. And in fact, there's one in the pocket of Mark too. So keep your eyes out for those stasis. 20 seconds on Elder Dragon. Last-ditch effort from Top Esports.
Triple GAs picked up for AL as well compared to triple stopwatches. I mean, you have to kill AL pretty much twice in this upcoming Elder. Wave states are terrible for the side of Top Esports as well. Ooh. You see Wayward trying to fix it. That's the chains of corruption gone.
Look at zhiqiuyi's health though. Like, he is so low. The poke is finally starting to actually come online for the side of Top Esports. This is the first time we've seen them get poke off before a fight happened in the entire game. Pop Blossom from Harder. It's on to 2. Mark and Tian here, but those stopwatches can finally come into play. Zorah goes down. 1 for 1 so far as the retreat comes in, but they're on to Rookie. He flashes away. Mark playing to save his carries. Wayward on the flank, and Top Esports keeping themselves alive here. The GA's coming through. Like you said, Counter-Strike comes into play, and another stopwatch comes on in. Xiaohao stepping forward, but surviving. This down goes Wayward. It's 2 for 2 so far, and the fight goes on.
Rookie has the TP though. I'm assuming AL, they want to be looking for this Elder Dragon as fast as possible. Look at the wave state in that top lane as well. Baron's also an option for the side of AL, but that's still 2 GAs available for the 2 main carries of anyone's legend.
There's no way that you can flip Elder against a lethality virus though. Like, he does what, 2,000 damage if it's slow and you proc the W? You can't afford to go for that one. They need the fight before going for the objective. Top Esports managing to keep themselves safe. Ultimate's coming back online for both teams as well. The bell is ringing, I can hear it. We're headed towards round 2.
Luckily for Top Esports, although Tian died, he still has that stopwatch available into his pockets, but the worrying factor is that both carries of Top Esports, no flash available. Zorah, he's looking for a flank with no vision whatsoever in this bottom side jungle.
Oh, TP comes out from Wayward. He could get caught here. Counter-strike on cooldown, but the rest of the team, AL need to move towards this Drake. They need to protect the objective from Top Esports. The poke coming through only onto Zorah so far. Here comes CDC on the bottom side of the play. Roots across the team. Chain of Corruption is in there as well, but Mark's already down. Traded support for support as Wayward causing a ruckus. zhiqiuyi into his GA. CDC, Xiaohao pushed back on this one as CDC will fall. And Top Esports, I don't know how they've done it. But they're managing to make the magic happen. The mojo is coming out of every hole right here. It's 22 for 15. Top Esports 4K down. They find an Elder anyway.
They find the Elder and now they're gonna work towards the Baron. How have you ever seen a team lose when they get these 2 major buffs into their pockets? And AL, they throw an unlosable game.
It's an absolute tragedy for AL. And Top Esports, I'm pretty sure they can't believe what's happening either. I'm pretty sure they're all blown away by what is going on. Elder taken, Baron taken, and suddenly this game is within their grasp.
Yeah, you see AL getting so desperate, trying to find their hands onto JackeyLove and Rookie, but they spaced this Nico perfectly, where the Pop Blossom and the Magnet Storm only landed onto Mark, and of course, they're more than happy to take that if you are Top Esports, while Wayward on this Jax as well, extremely tanky, but you see the GAs are popping like flies, just so he died to the Dragon. Well, although zhiqiuyi had to burn the flash, I mean, securing the Elder and the Baron at 30 minutes, you can take your Infernal Soul buff because we're just gonna end the game in the next 1 minute.
So Baron and Elder for, what, another minute and 20 seconds. This Top Esports have to get so much off of the map during this time period. They need to get so much poke down. The true damage on top of Varus poke already is going to be so horrendous to deal with. But they've not broken into anything just yet. Mid-tier 2 taken. Still a minute to push with.
Wayward, they are just going to continue with this 1-4 composition with the Jax consistently harassing in the side AL. I mean, they have to wait out this Elder Dragon for another 20 seconds or so, but JackeyLove has that G available with the cleanse as well. So I don't know how Zorah is going to get his hands onto this double carry composition from Top Esports without his flash available.
Yeah, the poke is absolutely horrendous. Zorah almost taken out. And remember, they only have to get you to, like, you know, they only have to do 3/4 of your health, then Elder will do the rest. The Baron wave pushing in still 20 seconds on Elder. This is going to be a mid-inhib taken for Top Esports. Harder has to retreat and help his team, which should open up the top tier 2 as well. And Top Esports, for the first time this game, they've got a gold lead.
Luckily for AL, I mean, zhiqiuyi finally managed to pick up that BT up against this Jax and Varus, who I believe are sitting on 4 items now. So these 2 guys are absolutely out of control in terms of the damage graphs. But I still feel like CDZ, if he's able to get that flash CC, if Top Esports not too careful, maybe they can upset the fight. AL, they just need 1 person to die for those resets, but it's looking really slim with the chances.
And I will say, the way that this game plays out now changes dramatically, right? The lethality Varus and Jace. Hang on, flank TP comes out. It's EDZ behind. No, it's harder. With the Pop Blossom, JackeyLove flashes away from it, but the rest of the team jumps onto him. GA into play as Harder has fallen down. Rookie has to carry. JackeyLove knocked back, but still alive here. They're winning in the meat grinder, but zhiqiuyi comes in and just gets hammered into the floor. Rookie with a quadra kill, and Top Esports with game 1.
And Rookie, once again on this J, stands up and grabs this win for the side of Top Esports. With how the early game went, it was looking so doom and gloom. But being Top Esports, they managed to take this first game. We're not too sure how we got there, but we got to Elder and Baron stage.
I mean, that was a wild ride. What a roller coaster of a game number one. Top Esports, you know, we asked for consistency. We asked for a strong showing going into playoffs. Well, we got a win, that's for sure. Whether or not we got consistency and a strong showing, I don't know. But hey, showing that when you put them against the wall, they can still fight a way back.
Yeah, and this whole kind of goal shift, or at least bringing Top Esports back into the game,